Hey, what's up guys? So this video I'm gonna talk through some of the supplements I use that I think are the most beneficial, because honestly out there's a ton of just BS supplements that really they're just out there to get your money. Like, there's a few supplements that I think can be really beneficial and helpful, and then there's ones out there that honestly they're just kind of a money grab and not really worth your time. So I'm gonna talk through the ones that I think are beneficial, the ones I actually use, and the ones I would recommend. But just to say right off the bat, you don't necessarily need supplements to actually get jacked, to get ripped, to do what you want to do. But I do think if you have a busy lifestyle, if you're working, all that, it is helpful. But let's get into it. So first one that I recommend is doing whey protein. So this is the brand that I use, the Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard. I've also used like the stuff from Costco, like the Kirkland whey protein and whatnot. I've used a ton of different brands. Back in the day, I used to use like the bodybuilding.com signature series. It just really depends. It's not necessarily the brand. Obviously you want to make sure you have a reputable brand and that it's not something crazy, because if you buy an off-brand supplement, there's no telling what might be in there. So you do want to stick to a reputable brand. But a lot of them are, have a lot of the same stuff in it. You're looking really for, to make sure they have all of the amino acids in it, specifically the branched chain amino acids, the leucine, the isoleucine, and the valine. And then I know for me, like, it's got to be tasty enough that you want to actually use it daily or every other day or whatever you do with it. Because if it's nasty, and I've had some nasty ones in the past, if it's just disgusting, you're not going to want to use it. You're going to end up just leaving it there sitting in your cupboard or whatever and never ever touching it. So have it at least be tasty enough that you want to use it. So I've always used whey. There is another brand or another type of protein called casein protein. It's a little bit more slow absorbing. Some people use it like right before they go to bed, and then the theory is that it's absorbing very, very slowly as you sleep and creating more, protein synthesis and that sort of thing. I've never used casein myself. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it, but whey has been my go-to. And I've also used occasionally like the meal replacement, like bulk shakes as well, like the mass gainers. They're essentially whey protein, only just way bigger and way more caloric. But generally for me, I stick to the whey protein. Let's go to number 2. So creatine. So this is the one I'm using right now, the Orgain creatine. Get this from Costco. Pretty cheap. I haven't replaced that in probably 4 or 5 months. It's been a long time. I've probably longer than that, actually. I think maybe I got that 8 months ago when I first got here. But creatine is one of the few supplements that actually has a ton of science behind it to back it up. So there's tons and tons of studies you can find online regarding creatine. And whatnot. There's not a lot of supplements out there that show positive studies, but creatine is one of those where it does, where a lot of the studies show it having a beneficial effect. Essentially the way it works is the creatine helps to supplement your creatine phosphate stores in your muscles. So essentially it allows you to lift a little bit heavier. So maybe with creatine, your 1 rep max might increase by 5-10 pounds. And let's say, so theoretically, the more you can lift, the more you can break down your muscles, and then the stronger they'll get, is the theory behind using creatine. And you'll also notice oftentimes with it, your muscles will feel a little bit more full. It's usually like the water that starts to fill them when you start to get your creatine stores built up pretty well. But I've been using this for a while. I've also used GNC's brand creatine. That's pretty good as well. Creatine monohydrate is the specific type that I use. There are some other types in there, but they're not very well backed by science. Creatine monohydrate is really where you want to be at if you're looking to do that. Just make sure obviously you're not overdoing it and you're sticking to the dosages though when you're taking creatine. Let's go on to the next one. So pre-workout. This is what I've been using recently. The Bucked Up. I think it's the Bucked Up Miami, right? Yeah, Bucked Up Miami. I use that. I've also been using man, what's it called now? I've used a couple different brands. I've used C4, Bucked Up, Total War. I'm using the Alani one along with that right now. I'm almost out of that, and I decided to buy an Alani one when I was at the store the other day. They're all pretty good. They're all, you know, usually have the same stuff in them. The same thing goes for this. Like, don't buy non-reputable brand pre-workout. Like, make sure it's actually a reputable brand, one that many people know of, and not some random shit. But pre-workout, I use it. I'm not gonna say you guys need to. I'm not gonna say like serious lifters or exercisers need to. It's just a supplement. It's something that's helpful, you know, in the morning or before your workout to get kind of pumped up, to get kind of jacked up before you go out there and lift some heavy weights. It's not necessarily needed, and it can get a little bit abused almost to a degree if you get kind of addicted to caffeine. But I do think it is helpful to kind of really get you going before your workouts, but it's not something that you need. And typically people start to feel a little tingly from it because most pre-workout has beta-alanine in it, and that's really what makes you feel like you've got, you know, little bugs like crawling on your arms and whatnot when you start to get those pre-workout tingles a little bit. But overall, I've been using it consistently over the past 2 years, 3 years probably. Before that, I was kind of on and off, especially when I was poor in college and wasn't really trying to spend money like that on supplements. But yeah, as of late, I've definitely been on the pre-workout game for a while now. But up to you if you guys want to use that. Let's go on to number 4. So this one's maybe not something you'd have thought of, like a multivitamin. So this one is also like the Costco brand in particular because it's like a 2-pack, much cheaper. So a lot of people forget about the, you know, like the micros are all about the macronutrients, the carbs, the protein in particular. I gotta get enough protein in my diet. A lot of people forget about the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, water, that sort of thing. Those do play a part, and you know, especially your B vitamins are in particular are super important for your energy levels and helping to gain muscle. So, you know, it's not something to forget about, and most of the time we get all those vitamins and minerals through our fruits and vegetables and whatnot. I definitely at times don't get enough fruits and vegetables. It's tough because sometimes if you are trying to hit a protein goal and you're trying to get your fruits and vegetables in there with it, oftentimes those fruits and those vegetables are just very, very filling, especially really fibrous vegetables that fill you up quickly. And so it can be tough sometimes if you're trying to reach your protein goals and make sure you're eating enough fruits and vegetables and kind of combining that together. But I take these every morning. It does help to fill the gaps for me, you know, to where maybe I'm not getting enough fruits and vegetables on a particular day, but I have this multivitamin that's covering, you know, a certain percentage of what I need every day for each vitamin. So like, for instance, vitamin A, this is 83%. So like a serving of this vitamin accounts for 83% of the vitamin A that I need every day. Vitamin C is 33%, vitamin D 100%. So it's a good supplement, as you can see, like to your vegetable and fruit consumption, but it's not the end all be all. You still have to eat, you know, your fruits and vegetables every day. But let's go on to the last one. So BCAAs, I bought this a little while ago, the BCAA Energy. So this is really honestly the least recommended one, because I really don't think you need it necessarily. You can take it if you want, but you don't really need it. So like I had said earlier on in the video, you can get your BCAAs, your branched chain amino acids, through your whey protein or through like beef and meats and that sort of thing. So really you're getting your branched chain amino acids whenever you have your whey protein or any kind of meat, essentially. You don't necessarily need to be taking straight branched chain amino acids in and of themselves. This is not a replacement for a whey protein shake. It doesn't, you don't take either or. The whey protein has a lot of other stuff in it, you know, and it has a lot of carbohydrates. Sometimes they have fat in it. Sometimes they have different nutrients that make the whey protein a little bit more calorically dense, versus BCAAs don't really have anything in it. They're at most have maybe 10 calories in them. So they're not interchangeable. I do think sometimes it can be a tasty, you know, rehydrating kind of ordeal. But I don't think they're really needed. And just to break like some of the science out on you, because I did research this a little bit. One of the recent studies, I believe it was from 2025, if I recall, said that BCAA supplementation may reduce muscle soreness post-exercise, but evidence for improvements in strength, endurance, and body composition remains inconsistent. And so, you know, this is one of those supplements where there are scientific studies done on it, but the science isn't convincing that, you know, it actually really helps out. So this is one of those where, you know, you kind of make the decision whether you actually want to deal with that or not. And that's it, guys. Those are the only supplements I use. I'm trying to think if I've ever used anything else. I've used a bunch of different brands for sure, but like I said, all reputable. Don't be buying out any kind of crazy freaking brands up in here that nobody's ever heard of, or some shit from who knows where. That's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you like this content. We'll see you in the next one.